we never get a chance to select a compatible person. And voila, that's the reason, according to the Pew Research Center and the U.S. Census, there are more single people in America now than married people. And I submit to you one of the reasons for that is due to the breakdown in effective communication between men and women. Close quote.
Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, he mentioned prison. I mean, there are still men still far outnumber women in prison, and men are more likely to murder. Men are more likely to commit physical assault. So, I mean, all these to me correlate into man's basic nature. Even though women have gone up over the years, it still pales in comparison to men, I believe. I certainly could be wrong because I'm not looking at the statistics, but I'm almost assuming that as far as violent offenders go, there are far more men than there are women. And I mean, the same goes for sex drive. I mean, there are far more horny men out there than there are horny women. There are horny women, but the drive is certainly more. I wouldn't even say in a man's favor because it's not always a great thing to be a horny man. It's within relationships. When men and women aren't compatible, and on average, the man is the one who wants more sex than the woman. I mean, that's what just about every study shows, that men and women that are in a relationship, the man usually is the one who wants more sex.
Let me just ask you something. Debbie, are you monitoring your chat room?
Yes, I am. And Jewish producer, and I just told him to shut up. He told me to shut up, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm monitoring it. Why? He says,
tell that sorry bitch of a man, Jewish producer, I don't know what kind of monster he is, but tell him to get his sorry ass on the phone and chime in. I mean, he loves the weird and the wacky. I mean, why is he so sick?
I don't know. What is
please,
it?
You have to ask that question about BTR folk, really?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Jewish producer, please call in.
But why doesn't he call in to offer answers? All he's doing is criticizing people who are offering answers. He's not offering any answers. Is he capable?
Why was I muted for so long and then unmuted without a ability to question? Because I forgot what I was going to question. I was muted so long I started doing something else.
Now, someone says here, I don't know who the he is, they didn't state, but they may be talking about me. This is a...
No, they're always talking about me.
He says, I think he picks on MMM. He finds his weak points and just sticks the knife in. Actually, I like Brian, and what I try to do, and Brian will tell you this if he's not basking in narcissism, I actually try to help him. I try to educate him. I give him references so he can actually speak intelligently on a topic. He normally won't read it, but that doesn't, betray the fact that I attempt to help him. Now, where is Jewish producer?
I hope he calls in.
I see he's just being a bitch. I see that is that really Jewish producer or some moron using his name?
No, it's him. I can call him in on my Skype because we're now in archive, but we're live on Spreaker, and everybody went to Spreaker.
As somebody who uses lots of people's names, I object to the word moron.
Okay, but see, this is the thing, Debbie. You see how men joke about this? They have a rod up their asses, and they're scared to pull it out. They are in jeopardy. They are behind the eight ball, and they won't even come out and deal with the issues. They are puer eternices, and so they're eternal boys. They won't come out and talk about the issue like men.
I'm calling him to see if he'll pick up. He picked up. Jewish producer?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Solution is
What's
calling
going on,
you out.
JP? That's you in the chat room?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Okay, what's your answer? What's your response to the sexual drive of men and women? What say you?
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I've got to shut down Spreaker.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to take my call. So let him mute the Spreaker show, which is where we're live at right now.
Okay, all right. You can hear me now, though, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Well, I tend to think that Brian has been making a lot of points that have gone unanswered. I'd like to hear his points answered first.
What point is that? Submit the point.
Well, his whole platform seems to be based in logic, and you seem to come at him with a lot more emotion and a lot more...
Okay, what's the point? What's the point so I can respond to it?
Well, go ahead, Brian. Yeah.
Well, the point is, you can Google sex drive, and anytime you Google it, all the studies show, particularly within relationships, when they've done studies on relationships, it is, on average, the male who desires more sex.
Can I stop you right there just for a moment?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, let's take you, for example. And you and I...
Why are we taking me and not the study?
Will you allow me to take you for a moment? You're Exhibit A.
Okay.
The women that you have gotten involved with weren't attracted to you. So when women get involved with men whom they aren't attracted to, okay, physically, then of course you're going to have this kind of problem. And this is there are problems on both sides, problems with men and women. A lot of times women choose men for inappropriate reasons, sometimes for material reasons, sometimes for dependency, but they're not really for the reasons of having a healthy relationship. So necessarily the women are going to recoil and stop doing that which they really don't like doing. Let's shift to Debi just for a moment, because Debi has already shared some of her important information about this. Debi, you are still very sexually active with Vic, correct?
Oh, yes.
Hello,
yes,
Debi.
I can attest.
Calling Debi. Debi.
Busy right now with Vic.
Where is Debi? Okay, let me just answer for Debi. Debi says yes. She's still, and Debi has been married for some 20-some-odd years. So she made a good choice in Vic. Vic made a good choice in her. Vic didn't get a twofer. That is, some women double in weight and triple. Debi keeps her weight down, and she talks about it. And a lot of women criticize her for it. So, there's the old adage that men marry women hoping they won't change, and women marry men hoping they can change them. So, there are things here, gentlemen, that you just have not, very important things, that you've left out of the equation.
May I respond? Now, granted that maybe women have had sex for me and have recoiled from the relationship, that may be very well be true. But what does that have to do with the overwhelming evidence that relationship counselors, every time the issue of sex comes up, the men all, on average, want it more?
Okay, I just answered you there.
You just answered with a personal attack against me and saying that women recoil from my presence. And then
I'm just saying, look, if a woman is not with a guy whom she's attracted to, and women need to be aware that they need to live up to their sexual desires and their sexual responsibility. And a lot of women are not aware of that, and they're not encouraged to do that. So our society is sexually dysfunctional, the entire society. And women tend to be more sexual dysfunctional because no one challenges them on their inappropriate sexual behavior. For example, I've asked women, how does a man know that you want to have sex with him? Most women can't answer that because, see, most women have not been taught to do anything affirmatively to let a man know that she wants to fuck. It's all a game. I think Dr. Farrell points out in his book there's something like 250 different tests a man has to put a woman through before sex occurs. So all the work is forced on the man, and the woman gets the opportunity to complain if the man does anything the wrong way. So you have to look at our society as dysfunctional sexually. But did you understand my point? That when I ask women, how do you let a man know for sure that you want to have sex with him? Have you ever asked a woman that question?
No. So okay. So you're saying that it is society. Yeah. You're saying that it is society that causes women not to have that high sex drive as men and not get what they truly desire. You are saying that it is a societal factor more than it is by their nature.
Of course. I mean, when you talk about nature, you got to be real careful because a lot of that are assumptions. And if you have conversation, now see, notice right now, we're talking about women, how? In the absence of women. Women can tell, Debbie just told you what her sex drive was, but she also told you how she responded to it, to negate it, to deny it, to avoid it. And so that is where the gist of the problem lies, is how women actually deal with their sexual desire. They deal with it in a less forthright, straightforward way. That is most women.
Okay, so you
sounds like you kind of answered the question then, that biologically what you're saying doesn't hold water.
No, women actually have a higher sex drive. They have a higher capacity for sex. Most men are afraid. You think of most. Let's think of most fathers, by the way, and it starts. A lot of it starts with fathers. Do they really want their daughters to have sex? Now, they can have gone out and been the greatest philanderers that there are, but do they want their daughters to have sex? Hello?
No, on average they don't, but...
Okay, listen to what you just said. The men are playing a deadly game, a psychologically dysfunctional game. How is a woman to respond to the one that's most important in her life, her father, not even wanting her to have sex? That's a conflict right there. Now, he's gone out and fucked everything that moved, everybody else's daughter. Do you see that contradiction?
I don't know if that's even really true. I think a lot of fathers...
You don't know that what's true. Please
I don't think it's that fathers
utter
don't...
complete statements instead of fragments.
Well, shut up for a minute. Let me finish. I don't think that fathers necessarily don't want their daughters to not have sex. I think they want them to make good decisions. And that's what good parents will want their children to make, positive decisions. And that means not going around and fucking everything in sight.
Okay, well, how do you explain now see, I'm okay. How do you explain the sexual dysfunction? And I know you're a novice at this because you don't know shit about the subject. But how do you explain the awkwardness and the non-straightforwardness of women vis-a-vis the sexual dynamic with men?
Is this JP or is this for me?
It's for JP. He was the bitch speaking.
I'm waiting.
He probably dropped off. See, that's what I'm saying. This is an asshole.
No,
All he wants to do is sit around
probably
and
a problem with Skype.
I'm here. No, I'm here. We're here. We're here.
Okay.
To do is snipe in the chat room. He doesn't have any answers. He's talking out of his ass. JP doesn't know a damn thing about the subject. He's totally ignorant of the subject, and yet he wants to try to call names. He's never dealt with this in an intelligent way, because he's not intelligent on most subjects. Am I wrong?
Well, JP's being awful quiet. Sometimes the Skype does fall off.
Yeah, that's his best asset, is to shut up, by the way, in my humble opinion. But the point of it is, fathers don't want their daughters to have sex. And that is that's an inconsistency and a dysfunction that's transferred onto the daughters. And most mothers feel that no woman is good enough for their son, and most fathers feel that no man is good enough for their daughters. So that's a problem.
Jewish producer is back with us. He accidentally dropped.
JP, did you hear what was going on?
No, I missed that. Sorry.
All right, well, go ahead, Mr. Solution.
Yeah, go ahead and answer that.
I'm hearing a lot of
Mr. Solution, Mr. Solution, are you there? Mr. Solution?
Yes. Well, I already laid it out there. I just pointed out how America is sexually repressive and dysfunctional.
That's
and
very
one of
true.
the points, one of the points that I made is that both fathers and mothers instill dysfunction in their daughters and sons. Most mothers feel that there's no woman good enough for their son, and most daughters feel that there's no man good enough for their daughter. And they encourage their daughters not to even have healthy sex. This is not just sex, it's also healthy sex. Because, look, I have no problem with the father teaching a daughter not to go out fucking around. I think that's great advice for both men and women. But how do you have sex in a healthy way? That's not dealt with either, for the most part. Look at all these girls that are in these videos. Go to myfreecams.com. Now, that is one of the best indicators of women's sexuality. I notice women, and I have to know these things so I won't be a blooming idiot. They get a glass of wine, take off their clothes, and fuck men on the webcam, masturbating. How sick is that? Now, many of these women, I'm going to say about a good 65 to 70% of these women are attractive. But they are forever single because they're sexually dysfunctional. And many times there are as many as 1,500 women on that particular website at a time being sexually salacious or salacious. Sorry for that, what do you call it, superfluousness.
You know, I was telling them in my chat room on Blog Talk that we're having this exact war as we speak in my house, as we speak. There is Heather's ex-boyfriend that she's trying to reconcile with is here. He's spending the night in her room. Now, the baby is asleep in the den, but Victor doesn't want him here and is extremely uncomfortable with him in the house because of the way he treats Heather and what he does to Heather, and he is just not going to sit still until he's out of this house. And I'm telling, I mean, it's very intense, but very quiet. There's no drama going on, as you can tell. That's why I was on mute for so long, because I had Heather coming in and Victor coming in. And I said to Victor, it's her life. I mean, what do you think about that, Mr. Solution? I say it's her life. Right?
Debbie, I think you're right on that, but there was another question that while you had yourself on mute that I was asking you that's germane to this topic, and that was, Brian was using the example that a lot of women do not seem to be as sexually interested as the men are. And I said that's because they're incompatible. But now I use you and Victor as an example. You are very sexually active with Victor, and you all have been married for 20-some-odd years, correct?
Exactly, yes. And we have a
So
very...
the point is, when you're compatible and suited, and I've heard you talk about how Victor isn't getting a twofer, that is, you're twice the size you were when you married him. And so you still sexually excite him. And I heard you say one time, and I quote, sex to you is an out-of-body experience. It's just that exciting to you. Do you recall having said that?
Absolutely. I am extremely...
Okay.
I'm
so
extremely...
See, what Brian does is he uses defective and dysfunctional examples of a thing to attempt to make the overarching point, and that's inappropriate. What I'm doing is if I use you as a functional example, who is more sexual in your relationship, you or Victor, if you don't mind my asking?
Maybe...
Matched is what I'm saying.
Maybe me right now. Maybe me, I guess. I don't know. Probably me.
Okay. But
Yeah.
And see, that's what Brian would have to do, and we need more women to talk about this, although we have polled women, no pun intended, and they have said that they were as sexual as men, or more sexual than men. They wanted sex as much as men. Brian is defective in his analysis, very defective. Needs to cotton up to that.
Can I respond to that?
Yes. You don't have to ask. Just respond.
I guess in my perhaps remedial mind, I'm defective, but I think just about anybody could see. Like I said, if women had just as high of a sex drive, that would probably be. Why isn't that at your fingertips? Why, when you Google it, when you Google male versus female sex drive, or who has a stronger sex drive, why is the overwhelming evidence for males having a stronger sex? If that were the case, it wouldn't be that difficult of knowledge to have. I mean, and he's like saying I'm really defective and this and that. When the information just isn't there.
Well, it is there. Excuse me. Well, first of all, Brian, you haven't read the meta-study, correct?
You know what? If the meta-study found out...
Answer my question before you
go
into your diatribe.
No, I haven't. Okay, no, I haven't. Is that the only study there is?
The meta-study combines all the sex studies previously done. So, see, this is why, like with a person such as yourself, I would not debate with you, because there's no basis for debating with you.
Because I haven't read the meta-study.
You need to read meta-study to be informed of the latest and most comprehensive information. I'm answering the question that you just asked. Google is giving superficial responses, and they're giving skewed responses. Read the meta-study. And I'm not going to argue with you on it anymore because you're at a deficit.
Whatever.
You're at a distinct deficit.
So the meta-study shows that if I read the meta-study and I deciphered it, it would show that women have just as high, if not higher, of a sex drive than men. If that study showed it, I don't understand why this isn't bigger news.
Okay, question. How are you determining sex drive? You keep talking about it. What's the definition of sex
Who
drive?
wants it more frequently?
Okay, there you go. Debbie, are you present?
Yeah, I'm here.
Who wants sex more frequently, you or Vic?
Again, I think it has, as far as my personal life goes, I mean, I don't think that's really the issue here, but I'm just thinking, as far as generalities go, I think it's because we're more of a lady. We're just not going to come up and say it to people or something. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you guys?
Okay, but see, that's the point. See, what he's missing, he doesn't understand what he's really talking about.
Okay.
Sex drive,
okay,
if you have a stronger drive, but you feel inhibited to demonstrate it, then that is where the discrepancy lies. Not
why
in your
aren't these
sex
women
drive.
going to prostitutes? Why aren't they going to gigolos as men go to prostitutes?
Okay, that just means men are being honest. That's
men are
all
breaking
that
the law.
means.
Men are breaking the law. They're not being honest. If they said they went to most men, if they said they went to a prostitute, would say no. They're lying.
Wait a minute. I didn't get
and they're
that.
lying.
If
men lie when they go. Men don't admit to going to prostitutes.
Study. I mean, some examples, and there are many, many more, of women breaking the law, the statutory rape laws. But see, the point of it is, you're overly invested in this, and you're probably not going to change. I guarantee you more men break that too. Excuse me?
More men break that law too. But you know.
What I'm saying is the fact that when men have sex, they're having sex with women. We're talking about heterosexual sex. So women are always there when men are having sex. So how are you making this arbitrary distinction that women are not as sexual as men?
Men always want more, and you cite that women break the law. Like I said,
Debbie just told you that women are taught to deny their real intentions regarding sex. Do you understand that?
Okay, men are taught to deny certain things too, but
We're talking about. Wait.
Hold on a second. Prostitution in this. Hold on a second. Prostitution in this.
We're not talking about certain things. We're talking about
Mr. Solution. Mr. Solution. Wait. Stop.
I'm explaining this to you.
Everybody stop.
You do not have
guys.
the answer, and you will not have the answer.
Guys.
We're talking about sex, limited to sex.
All right, everybody calm
Don't
down.
Tell me about other things.
Everybody calm the fuck down.
Drive.
Stop.
Okay?
Stop. Both of you are muted. Okay, stop. Everybody take a break. Shh. We're getting out of control. Now everybody settle down, please. We're interrupting each other. We're freaking out, and we're all screaming. Brian, what were you trying to say? Hang on, Mr. Solutions. I'll get you back in just a second. Brian.
All right. What I was saying was we're dealing with sex drive, okay? Prostitution in this country is illegal. It is against the law, okay? It's not something that men are honest about, okay, for the most part. Men go out, men are 90% of the Johns, okay? If and he points out that women will break the law. There are women out there that break the law and will have sex with minors. But that's an exception to the rule. And as Mr. Solution said, the exception to the rule proves what? The rule. I just let him respond to that.
All right, Debbie, Brian is a fool. I'm done with this subject. He can read the study and decipher what he wants, and maybe it can be indicative of how he has interpreted everything else. But I'm not going to continue to argue with him. He's a fool, in my opinion, on this issue. I'm not discussing this anymore.
Okay, maybe that's the best, because maybe we just need to agree to disagree, right? What do y'all think?
Sure.
I just don't want y'all to get angry at each other. And I know it's probably not real anger or whatever, but I just don't want you guys. It's sad because I really like both of you guys. I mean,
Debbie, that's okay. Look. See, Brian is ignorant. Brian hasn't read the study. He's invested in being a chump when it comes to women. He's a super sucker. And so I'm not going to participate in that. See, he kisses women's asses and walks on eggshells, and then he argues with me. And a woman can wrap his ass around her finger like warm licorice. He's not a man when it comes to dealing with women. I talk to women matter-of-factly. If they don't want to have sex with me, fuck them and the horse they rode in on. There's another, women are just like buses. There's another one coming along.
Be around in a few minutes.
Whereas Brian sucks up to women. He's a little boy. Now, I'm trying to give him information, and he's rebuffing me when he really needs to go and read the information. He's grossly ignorant and completely unrepresented.
I just wish he would enlighten me more and enlighten me on the study. I mean, to me, like I said,
prostitution is not illegal in all of the U.S. It is legal in several counties in Nevada.
That's one part, but where prostitution is illegal and in most of the United States, it is illegal. Men go out of their way, and there are. I don't think there are any. If there are, there may be like really small, where women will seek male gigolos. But like I said, 99.9%, and the places where they're legal, 99.9% of the Johns are men.
And I will say this, most of dating and a lot of marriages in America are prostitution because women are trained to get something for having sex. Many women are, and that's wrong. See, what we need to do, instead of being stupid about the problem and endorsing the problem, we need to be able to illuminate the problem and rectify the problem. We have a huge problem here. And so we need to look at solutions because obviously what has gone before us has not worked. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a change. Most women will not have sex with a man unless he spends money on her. And then at the same time, women will say, I know if I'm going to have sex with you early on. And you don't need to spend any money on them. So one of my particular points of view is, if a woman doesn't like a man's personality, if she doesn't like his dreams, his goals, his desires, who he is, his conversation, then he need not do anything to try to impress her beyond that. He should just leave her. So that's the problem. Brian is scared of women. He does not talk to women. He's like a lot of men. He'll be macho with me because he's skewed. He's that. But when it comes to talking to a woman and having open and honest and transparent conversation with her, he folds like a house of cards. And that's the way most ignorant, dysfunctional American men are. And they've got to change that. What say you?
Well, for me, I will. You know what? Mr. Solution has made me want to read this study, and I would love to talk to the people who did the study and see their point of view. Because, like I said, this is something that is new to me. I've never heard anybody that passionate. I mean, I'm not even that. I'm only. Certainly I don't like people putting me down, but I'm not that passionate about it. If it were true, I certainly would accept it. I still don't think it is, and I think even after I read it, I think if Debbie invited those people on and they came on her show, they probably would not say that study indicated that female and male sex drives are equivalent. I truly believe that.
Well, I've got it, and I'll send it through Jewish Producer, and just promise me that you will look over it, highlight it, make notes on it, and we'll meet back here again.
Absolutely.
We'll meet back here again, say, this time next Sunday night, and have it out on it. What do you say? We'll have a sex talk.
You know what? Let's do this as well.
Okay. What?
Why don't you try to get them as a guest?
I will. I'm not far from them, and Victor is he's a alma mater. That's his alma mater. I'll see if I can get one of them to come on the show.
That would be awesome, because I'll have a few questions that I'd like to ask him, and I will do my part and read through it.
All right.
Debbie, how much time do we have left? What are you talking about exactly? What people? What people are you having on?
The people that did
the people who wrote that study.
Yeah, the study at the University of Texas.
Oh, you're going to invite those people on your show?
Yes.
When?
Next Sunday night.
Oh, have you already made see, this is new to me. You hadn't said anything about this. Had you made contact with them and they were inclined to come on your show?
No, I am going to do that, and I feel very confident that I can have them come on the show. One of them, if not...
Oh, okay. That would be great. I think that would be, because this is let me just say this. It would be a mistake of God, the Creator, to make to create beings where it is so essential that they get along and make them inherently sexually incompatible. That just makes no sense whatsoever.
True.
Does that make any sense?
No, it makes a hell of a lot of sense.
I mean, that would be like a cosmic joke.
He makes a lot of sense, and I think that I do think there's room for learning and knowledge on Brian's part, and there is room for being a little bit more flexible on Mr. Solution's part, and I do believe that I'm open to being taught some things about this. I think it's an excellent topic that a lot of people will be interested in, and I do. I want to see if I can get this going for next Sunday night here on the program. We have all the time we want because we're on Spreaker. We have exactly...
So you think they will be... That'll be great. I think... Now, remember, this University of Texas, at Austin, that's where Dr. Weinberg is also. He's head of the physics department there.
Shoot, I'd love to put on one of my miniskirt business suits and just go down there in person. I mean, I'm only 3 hours from his house, from his office, to get him on. I would love... Oh, my God, I'd love to get him on. That would be like a dream come true.
Hey, Debbie, let me tell you something.
What?
I often lament the useless, stupid confusion between men and women. There's so much opportunity for ultimate love, the creation of their own universe of love and caring for each other. But yet, men and women spend their time battling each other. Mm-hmm. That is just so damn sad. And for no reason.
Yes, it is.
There's no legitimate reason.
Which tells me that you understand more than you're even letting know. I mean, some people could just sit, like I have said before, I could sit and listen to you talk literally for hours until I probably just fall asleep. Because I think that you've got this gift. I think that you were gifted by the gods with some sort of cosmic knowledge about the relationship between men and women, and that's why. And I think that this venue that you're on, this small, horrible venue of BTR, is just. We're going to get it out there, Mr. Solution. Just stay with me because I am now on a mission to get this heard and get this figured out and get everything done, especially before we tackle the unbelievable. I'm getting texted to death on my iPhone.
This is a subject larger than most of us can imagine. Now, I would not deal with someone like Brian. Never. I would not, because the only way I would deal with him are on superficial issues like food, maybe going someplace like...
You really mean that?
Going to events, but not discussing real issues, because he does exacerbate me. There's no doubt about that. He does... He angers me.
And I think, in all fairness to Brian, and as much love, and just like they say in the song, what's love got to do with this? Nothing. I love you, Brian. But I do think that being of the mindset of inflammatory talk, I think that the fact that you just said what you said says why Brian perhaps loves a relationship with you, because it is very inflammatory. And it brings out a lot of heated discussion. And I think that is maybe the draw there. I don't know. But
that throws me off a little bit because, see, getting upset, I measure my energy.
Right.
And when someone is making an absolutely insane retort, it does sap my energy. There's something called good stress. Brian causes me, when I allow it, and I am serious about this issue, by the way. But see, I'm talking to him, and he's arguing with me, and I'm looking at his brain. I'm looking at his brain waves, and I can see that they're flatlined.
Well, then why don't we just make the...
Yeah, he needs to read the material, and then he could be better equipped to argue. Now, will he read it?
Yes.
I'm going to bet he won't.
Now, that's being negative, Mr. Solution.
I'm not being negative. I've known him for a while.
Take dinner, sir.
Promise me that he doesn't do anything he says he's going to do. He was supposed to write a letter and send it to the major news outlets asking them a particular question that I had already critiqued and approved. Didn't do it. Now, he could I heard what you advised him on earlier. He could get together a business plan and go to the Small Business Administration for a loan. And that has potential viability, too. But I'm a person who seeks solutions, period. I don't engage in nonsense, as he loves to do.
I don't know what I said was nonsense, but that's okay. I'd like to say that I was the one who came up with the idea, by the way, to bring
No, we've been talking about this for quite some while.
That is true.
Excuse me?
That is true.
Yeah, we've been talking.
But just in the now, since I have forgiven you for interrupting me, even though you weren't sorry.
I don't care about your forgiveness on that. I could care less.
I forgive your unforgiveness, but let me just say.
But see, this is the thing. Brian will not stop. I don't deal with people like that. He's pig-headed. He acts like a brick. I told him, I said, Brian, before you discuss this subject anymore, read that PDF. That is a very scholastically astute article. It's very comprehensive. It's a meta-study. You will be... Go ahead. You're cutting me off. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You're right. I did, and I apologize. I hope you forgive me.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I forgive your unforgiveness.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What's your point?
But under the context, I was just saying that it was me who brought up the idea. Secondly, I don't know what I've said.
Skype chat room, Jewish producer. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know what I've said that has warranted such a response. I've only brought up points that I believe to be true. Now, I guess I do have to read this study because, to me, it's almost like you're selling it like the Holy Grail. I guess I'm going to find out that in this study that and try to encrypt it as best as I can, where it shows that women have just as high, if not higher, a sex drive than men. I'm going to see if I can find that out. I may be too ignorant. I may be too foolish.
But you don't have to be. The other thing is this: if you take just one psychology class, just one, mm-hmm. It will point out to you how human beings are gregarious. We're social creatures by nature. And as a result, we bend and accommodate social mores, even if they're dysfunctional. That's what happened in Hitler's Germany, where all of those people agreed and conspired to murder the Jews. So people in groups do very bad things, normally that they wouldn't do as individuals. So the thing you have to understand is we're like a there's a cloud of conditioning over us.
As well as psychology.
There's a cloud of conditioning over us that can cause us to act dysfunctionally. And Debbie was giving it to you. She's been giving it to you all night.
Okay.
You just haven't listened.
But Mr. Solution, there are also twin studies, even twins that are raised apart, who basically will follow. They'll follow the same path. So nature has. Okay,
but what does that have to do with this? How is that related to this?
You just said people bend to society. Well, twins that are raised by themselves have their nature, and sometimes, and a lot of times, people their nature takes over. I remember, the Catholic Church used to rail against masturbation, but nature took over. So sometimes...
You mean with the priest? I'm just kidding.
No, okay. But sometimes nature takes over. Nature, like I said, prostitution is illegal.
But you're not making a point, Brian.
How am I not making? I'm talking about nature.
But you're not making a point. Actually, if you study B.F. Skinner and Watson, Skinner was Watson's student, and what Watson basically said, that those are Watson is the father of modern day psychology, and he pointed out that he said something on the order of give him 5 healthy specimens of human beings, and he would make them baker, banker, and even criminal. So the understanding or the takeaway there is nature sets the lower limit of who we are. Conditioning sets the upper limit of who we become. Do you understand that?
You know what? I was rubbing my face. Can you repeat that?
Debbie,
I'm sorry.
You can help me here, because this is a hard job here. I'm doing a lot of work. I wish I were getting paid.
I'm here. I'm listening to every word. I'm listening to every word.
I'm almost hyperventilating. I can't find my water anyway, and I'm up against the phone here.
What I said is that according to the father of modern day, John B. Watson, of modern day psychology, and his student was B.F. Skinner, by the way, he pointed out that nature sets the lower limit of our development. Conditioning sets the upper limit. That is why he said, give him 5 healthy human specimens, and he would train them or condition them to be whatever he chose. You understand that?
Yes. Yes, I understand that. But doesn't the lower base, like I said, there are decent people that have affairs. There are decent, who are raised decently and moral that stray away. Doesn't badness have an appeal all its own? Some people are raised in a decent and good environment, but basically stray away to their base nature.
Well, that's called being human. But most people, if you look at even you have a basic tenor, and you have basic rules that you follow, fairly functional rules. Now, they may operate at a level less than what you could achieve, but nevertheless, you follow certain principles. All of us do. So to stray away from those, number one, unless a person is under drugs, that is an exception. if they're influenced by drugs, drugs have the ability to override the human capability.
Okay.
So read the study. That's all I can say to you. I think this is a great thing you're doing, Debbie. Debbie, are you there?
I'm right here.
You need to read.
I'm right
I think
here.
this is a great thing. I'm a little bit shocked but pleasantly surprised. And I hope Dr. Weinberg comes on. I really do when we do our study on Genesis.
I'm going to do everything I can.
And Brian, I hope you participate in that too. Now, I notice there will probably be your conspicuous absence. I'm just prognosticating, and I hope I'm wrong.
I cannot promise how long I'll stay.
Well,
but
as long as you visit.
I will make it. I will make it to shows. And she's
as
promised.
As long as you visit and
she had
have
my
a.
theme.
Yes, he's promised.
Contribute.
He's promised to come and listen and have an open mind about it. Although he knows we're not going to be trying to conform him into any sort of religious beliefs, but he has conformed. He has agreed to come in and listen with an open mind and to talk and chat along with us as long as he's not stepped on or whatever. And I think that's great. I think I speak for Brian when I think Brian's tired. He's been on the phone now for several hours with us. I think he needs to.
Let him go to bed.
Yeah, he needs to go to bed.
How about Kaiser Monkey Shoes? Can you get him?
I bet. If you
want
want
to
to
participate.
In all honesty, I don't think so. I think he's just too far gone. But
that's a tougher nut to crack, huh?
I'm still working on it. In fact, Mr. Solution, I might have even cheated, and I went and downloaded, for my own benefit, Charlton Heston's, it's called Genesis. Charlton Heston reads Genesis, but he doesn't only read Genesis, he actually goes into a lot of discussion and stuff like that. It's very interesting. So he's actually in the Holy Land.
Good.
He's in the Holy Land. He goes up against the Wailing Wall, and he goes to the temple, and he goes to all these different places. So it's kind of interesting. But so there you have it.
All that can add to it. You're going to play that during the discussion?
I already have the intro music. I'll say that.
Oh, okay. That sounds great.
I think you're going to be very
okay.
pleased.
Well, let me do this. I've put in a lot of time too, and I think some good points were made. I think
too.
Brian will be best benefited from reading that study. How many? Did you say it was 31 pages?
31.
I thought it was more, but
No, it's 31 pages, but it's very, very small type.
Oh, okay. So I thought it came out to a little substantially more than that. But at any rate, one could copy it and type and maybe increase the size of it, because kind of put it on like legal paper, which makes it much easier, to make it much easier to read. But
Actually, I'm sending it.
Good topic.
I'm
good
sending it
discussion
to
on the extemporaneously on the spur of the moment, and very good, very good.
Jewish producer, as we speak, is downloading the PDF from me on the Skype format over there. He's on Skype downloading it. There you go. So,
God, I hope he reads it too, because he unfortunately, there's not a lot of difference, and I hope he reads it too. I know he makes a lot of snipes in the and that's okay. I have pretty thick skin. But if he reads it, all is well. If he reads the study and comprehends at least a portion of it, I'm quite pleased.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Solution, we would love for, as much as we fight, I think I can speak for JP, that we would love for you to be in our movie about our documentary about white guilt.
I thought you had me in there. You have my quote. You have many quotes. I've listened to your new skit, your new opener.
Yes.
You have,
but I thought maybe you would be there in person, maybe railing against me. Well,
I told you, Brian, before, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care. I mean, I call in to talk to you about. I do care about the truth, though. Now that's where I do care. But I don't really care about the issue that you're raising, because it has no impact upon me.
Well, as my BTR father, even though you refuse to give some of my inheritance early, it would probably do our a lot of our BTR listeners probably would go to the movie just to see you.
Well, as a result of your decent behavior tonight, for the most part, I'm reinstating $15,000.
Okay.
Now it was zero, but so I am doing that, and if you act appropriately, and I give it a period of 6 months, we'll see if we can't get it back to 50. But it's only 15 now.
Okay.
All right. Look, have a great day at work tomorrow, and read that article, read that PDF, and I'm sure we'll have more discussion on this.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a great evening.
Right.
Good night.
For Debbie, for Mr.
Are you tired, Debbie?
I'm exhausted.
All right, I'm going to let you go.
I'm too.
For
Mr. Midnight.
It was pretty interesting.
Yes.
What it was.
Yes, it was.
I still disagree. And I have to say, you know what, I'm going to try to have as open mind as I can, but I still believe that men have a higher sex drive. Maybe not much, but they do have a higher sex drive on average. I just believe that. I don't know if a Jewish producer has anything to add to the conversation. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, you better read up, man.
Did you get it?
All right. Is it proving me wrong?
I haven't started reading it myself, but you're the one that's going to need the information. I am.
Well,
yes.
I'm
going to be highlighting it. I hope Jewish producer will act it out with me. Maybe we'll do a skit about it.
Oh, y'all are adorable. I love you, Brian. I do. I can't fake that. I can't lie. And Jewish producer knows why. We've talked about it behind your back. I've said I just love him. Yeah. I love, Jewish producer says, I'd take a bullet for him. We love you so much. You are a myth. There's that giggle I haven't heard all night.
Yes.
I was doing it when Mr. Solution was talking. He makes me laugh at times. Sometimes he pisses me off, but he also makes me laugh, to a degree. His cruelty,
Joe,
his verbal cruelty.
His verbal cruelty. Go ahead. I want to hear what you say.
Well, his verbal cruelty is like no other. I mean, he is a master of verbal cruelty.
I will give him that at certain times tonight. I will. I think I asked him before, Mr. Solution, do you listen to the replay of these shows sometimes with you and Brian? I don't know that he does. Maybe if he did sometime, he would hear that. But I was trying. I was fighting for you. I hope you could tell that. And I was trying to.
I'm fighting for him to be on the promo of our documentary. I'll be in one of those grown-up big wheels riding down the street, and like he could be like
Baby Huey.
like I'm just riding along, and then he could be like in a sinister cape, with his 10-speed and the sinister cape, just running me over.
No, you could have on one of those beanies that has the little propeller on the top with the sandal locks for it's on the sand, the black and white.
And he just peels it off from my head.
Yeah.
Or I'm riding along, I'm having some ice cream, and he just takes it away from me.
And I come walking along like Jessica Rabbit, and I look across the street, and there's Mr. Jewish producer in a one of those Chicago outfits, one of those green and those pimp suits, with a chain, slinging a chain. Yeah.
Zoot suit.
A zoot suit. There you go. A zoot suit.
Zoot suit Ryan.
Y'all are horrible people. Well, the listeners, just between us three, the listeners were off the charts tonight. We had twice as many on Spreaker as we did on Blog Talk, and I'm showing 166 live on Blog Talk.
Heyo.
No
really?
Shit. They're already downloading it. We're not even in archive yet. I'm going, what?
Spreaker's getting you some good love. That's good.
Shit. We got to get you guys over there.
Spreaker.
We got to get y'all on Spreaker. Get y'all Spreaking on Spreaker.
I got an account on Spreaker.
I'm not hearing you yet.
No, we haven't done any shows on there yet.
Well,
I told you I need a tutoring session from you, so we got to arrange that on Skype.
I gave one to the news guy. He actually called me. He called me on my cell phone, and I gave him a one-on-one. And he was doing something completely wrong, and I fixed it all up, and now he's all on Spreaker. He's all better now.
Nice.
He's funny.
I'm next. How's that?
All right.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Oh, we just lost Brian. Now it's just you and I on Spreaker.
Cool.
So,
I like this
bless
Spreaker
his
thing.
heart. Yeah, it sounds great.
It actually does. It's much louder than BTR.
and clearer and everything and blah 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 blah. It's crazy. And
now, is there chat with on Spreaker or no chat?
There's chat.
There is. What?
You can do these just on the fly. You can do any sound effects.
What?
You can do music on the fly. You just see. Hey, I could do a split screen with you real quick. Watch. Let me show you, just for the sake of you and I. Look, let me see. That would be, where is that at? That is share screen. Okay, watch. I'll show you the board over there. Watch. Are you there?
Yeah. Where? Okay. Oh, you're doing it on Skype?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. On Skype.
Okay. All right.
Do you see my screen yet?
Yeah, kind of. I see it.
Tell me when you're there.
No, I'm looking at it, but it's kind of small. Let me blow it up.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, this is the switchboard on Spreaker. And over here are the sound effects. And you can just get you can just put add, and that puts them over there. And then just I don't know, just like brontosaurus. Well, I'll just put add. And then there's those. And then you close out of that. Here's the main board. Here we are. Here's deck 1 and deck 2. Isn't that amazing? Look at it.
Oh, I'm loving this.
And you've got the net link numbers, the net pings, the memory, the CPU. I can do this. Pick us back up. I mean, it's crazy. You put your music over here, I hit add, then you can pick out thousands of songs, or I just go to mine, which are right here. Open my own music library, and I can do anything I want. I can add that. Isn't that crazy? You just put them over there on that. We call them a cart in real radio, but you can put all those. Isn't that wild?
And what about your chat room?
The chat room is right here. Look. See?
Huh.
You can click on somebody and permanently ban the person if you click on their name, like
Monkey Chew.
Yeah, well, it just went to her webpage though. But if I were to hover over, it says permanently ban, or somehow or another it does that on there. But anyway, yeah, you can ban them.
That's a little drop-down menu.
Mm-hmm. You can lock the chat room right there where nobody else can come in. There's the chat room, and then there's the log archives right there telling you if you're still online and everything. But it's killer. I mean, it's amazing.
And, why not? If you're already doing the blog talk radio, what I don't know, I guess my question would be how you simulcast the two together. So
that's what I would teach you how to do.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
There it is. I was teaching News Guy how to do it so that he would know how to do it. But see, there you go. There it is. And here's you can copy your URL right there to your thingy.
And I see that you have 33 followers on
tonight. That would be tonight, right? Or just
No, not visitors. That's
totally
followers. Those are people that have actually clicked on your page and followed you.
Yeah, and I've only been on here. Let me take a look. Watch. Look at these numbers already. Let me show you on my profile. If you go to tracks, look at these right here. Look. Wait, no, that's not it. You have to go tracks, and then you go statistics. Where's statistics? Oh, here it is. Statistics. Watch. Okay, it shows you can just do latest episodes. It did have this long thing going up and down, but overview, is that it? It did have this graph that you could look at. But where did it go? Let me see if I can find that graph. It showed, well, anyway, I don't know where it went, but there was a graph you can look at, it's pretty wild when you look at it like that, but I don't know where it went. It was...
I did a... Oh, wow.
What?
I didn't even know that. I did I'm just looking at my account here. It looks like about 3 months ago, I did a test thing called Jewish Producer Speaks Out on Spreaker. So I did a little 7-minute test run on here. And, it's pretty...
For 14 episodes, I've already had over 1,000 plays, 1,000 listens.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I know. They call this a show, the Debi Daly Show, and then these are called tracks or episodes, whatever. So
I see.
That's about it. So, yeah.
Another one I liked a lot of, what was the name of it? There's one I just joined up with. It used to be more active on there. Shoot, I forgot the name of it, though. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Damn planes.
There it is. There's the graph.
Oh, let me go back to my...
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I see it. I was checking out mine, too. Yeah.
Isn't that neat, the way it does that?
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll show you all the different... I think you click on a day. I don't know how you do it, though. Somehow or another, the other day, I was able to click on the different shows and see the different shows. I don't understand how you do it now. Somehow or another, it had them they were all way up here. I don't know how I do that, but... And refers. Look at that. Most people are on their iPods listening.
It's amazing.
Isn't that wild? Listeners, I don't know how they do that, but... That's crazy. I don't see how you get to the graphs of all of them. That's how I did before. It's kind of hard to move around in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, is getting to know how to move around in... Oh, Chris Top's live right now. I didn't know that. It shows me to still be live. How about that?
Broadcasting's pretty easy, though. I mean, just, going on and broadcasting. But then to go find other people and all that, it's a little tricky.
I can't believe David is already on iHeartRadio. That's another good thing about coming over here, is you can get on iHeartRadio.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
Wait a minute.
So
you didn't know that? Are you serious?
No, I had no idea. That's, I guess that would be a huge benefit for Spreaker you're talking about, right?
When you go to Spreaker, you have the option of putting your show up for iHeartRadio.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow, you didn't know that. That's a big thing, I think.
It sure is. I use that app a lot. I listen to a lot of talk radio on there.
And you have your own show on Spreaker, is what it is. And you submit it, and they look at it, and they let you know whether or not... They're still looking at mine, but you can't have any cussing and stuff like that. And I'll tell you all about that later and everything, but I just get so scared that Blog Talk Radio is going to go, would you please shut up talking about Spreaker?
Yeah, right.
I try not to talk about it on my show in case they listen. They do sometimes to mine. They've even told me before. So.
That's funny.
All right. I'm going to get off of here.
What about editing? Last question.
Editing the shows?
After a show is over, do they save your shows as archives, and you can go in and edit them?
Absolutely. It's right there. You can't miss it. It's right there on... If you click on a show, like... let me go to my hold on, it's right... My profile... And then you click on tracks, and then right here you can edit. Right here, see where it says edit.
Yep.
You can edit whatever you want whatever you want to edit about it. So, I mean, I average. If you add up 106, 84, 92, 77, 100, like that, if you're
over 1,000. Yeah.
Well, no, if you average out per show, then these are comments made on the show after you get off the show. Comments, those little things right there are. Or no, 5 people like it.
That's great.
Whatever, I don't fucking know what it is. I haven't figured it all out yet, but anyway.
Well, yeah, heart. I get it. The hearts are likes. So.
Yeah. So.
And that is damn good, Debbie. You're already going with this. This is good.
I just started doing it just because I was scared when they started getting mean. I thought I'm going to get kicked off of BTR because of that goddamn Desert Rose, but. Wow, look, it even went up while we were sitting here talking. Sometimes if you reset the page, it'll go up even more. The play count. Oh, wow, I went over 1,000. That's good. That's what they look for. So I'd like to get on iHeartRadio. I'm so tired. Jesus, I'm tired. So did I misspell congratulations? You.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So instead of iTunes, it would be connected with iHeartRadio, I guess.
And iTunes. You're already on it. It already goes to my iTunes. Yeah. I'm just so jealous. I was going to look and see what David looks like. See his page. Let's see. Where is David? David was one of my first followers. He's down here somewhere. Stabby McCugs is following me. Where did you go, David? David. Okay, let's see what his page looks like now that he's on iHeart. I wonder if it says that he's on iHeart. See, I don't know if it does, but he is. I'm so jealous. Yeah, I don't see it. So anyway, yeah. All right.
Okay, then. Thanks again for showing me around a little bit.
Mr. Midnight Movie says, I think the more Mr. Solution beats up on me, the better I look and the worse he looks. Good show, by the way. That was from Brian on the cell phone. So, all right, you crazy mullets.
Thanks again. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Joe. Take it easy, okay?
Oh, yeah, you too, Debbie.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot to answer in my call on Spreaker. Good night, everybody on Spreaker. I'm sorry. Good night.